All right, and we're on air. So let's see. Let's start. Um, Actually, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and start with icon relationships. You might not need them, but then again, you might. So we'll see. There's a 6. Oh, that's actually something I do need to bring up. The new character sheet is available now. The one that I was helping to get sorted out in Roll20. It is now a part of the campaign. You can actually go and set up your character sheet and do all of your rolls from there, if you would like. Icon relationships included, whatever it may be, all your attacks, whatever you want, you can now do from your character sheet directly, if you'd want, instead of doing macros. Or you can keep doing macros. Whatever works best for you. You now have options. Um, is the Florida contingent here? Are they busy? They haven't rolled yet, which is why I'm wondering. So yeah, that's there. You can do that. It's a really nice character sheet.
You go into journal, go to character,
Yeah, I'll let
and
here. Let me
then
screen share real quick, and I'll show you.
character sheet, right?
Yeah, let me screen share. Hangouts. There we go. All right. So yeah, you go over here to journal. You go down to your characters, click on it, and then you'll have bioinfo and character sheet, and you'll be able to enter all that stuff here. And at which point, if you do decide to do that, let me know so I can update your tokens to be pulling from there instead of the other workaround that we'd been doing. That's a couple of 6s. Still waiting on Lloyd's. And then we will recap. I'll have everybody do an individual recap since the last couple of sessions have been more individually focused. All right, so a couple of 6s, and let me go to and thank you, Brandy, for updating the session notes. I appreciate it. Wow, was it really the 18th the last time we played? Cripes. It was a lot longer ago than I thought. All right. Well, I do, and that's the most important one to keep happy. You always want a happy GM, because then I won't just kill you. All right, so let's go around and recap really quick what everybody was doing last session. Let's start with Brandy, since you're probably uh, fresh in your brain. And we cannot hear you if you're talking, because Lloyd is muted.
Make sure your speaker's on, or your microphone is on.
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
When you're, in order to be able to tell that, if you look at my picture down on the bottom.
I was doing other things.
Okay.
So what was I doing last time?
Yes.
I went with Caleb to Droom to deliver the medicine to the orcs. That's right. We discovered we were kind of surprised because we really expected to be attacked by the harpies and other monsters as we crossed the mountains. We did disguise the airship a little bit, we didn't disguise the airship. I disguised myself as a harpy, and then we also had bribes on board just in case we were harassed, but nobody really bothered us, which was really weird. So we arrived at some very old ruins, which people had been kind of repairing a little bit, to learn that we were met by a large orc, to find out that the original group that had originally been attacked was the ones that were at these ruins. They don't know if they've spread the disease to anybody else, but they haven't heard of anybody else. They had come to this settlement, this old ruins, to keep themselves from spreading the disease to other people. The disease is highly contagious. They're not sure how it's passed yet, so they don't know if it's airborne or if it's by touch or whatnot. All the herbal lore and the magic they have done have not affected the disease. It kills within days. It starts with nosebleeds and then progresses to ear bleeds, and then every place you can bleed ends up bleeding, and they end up drowning in their own blood and in crippling pain. They don't know where the disease originated, but they believe that it had to do with a wizard. I can't remember his name.
Mordain.
Mordain.
Mordain the Flesh Weaver.
Yeah, they believe it's Mordain the Flesh Weaver, you said, or Flesh Crafter?
Flesh Weaver.
Okay, Flesh Weaver. They believe it might have been an experiment of his. They have no proof, but everything that the earth and the wind tells him that he's right. And they ask us not to confront this elven wizard. He's way too powerful, but they do tell us where he lives. In the south near the Blackwater Lake in the borders between the Marches and Drone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can recall.
Yeah, that seems about right for what you did last time. Let's go to Pearl.
All right. Last time I sent a missive to Juan D, asking him to come to the Flying Crane Inn, aka the Bob Ross Tavern, to discuss some business that has to deal with that might have to deal with the Blood of Vol, as well as involving the Blood of Vol, involving the Dawn Brothers, which are a gang that are that usually hang around the cogs, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. And I don't know whether I had on me at that time the lists of individuals / hangouts that my contact had given me. But I wanted to check out a few of them, perhaps try to find our other compatriots to help as well, because I emphasized that this is not the type of these are not the type of establishments that you want to go alone in. So I think that's about it. Is there anything?
I don't think so. I think that sounds about right. I think you went into more detail about Verania's assistant.
Right. He had his tongue and eyes cut out. He was dead. Don't know whether it was prior to his death or after his death that he had the appendages cut out.
Yeah, neither one of you are exactly medically inclined enough to be able to tell if that was post-mortem or not. Oh, you are an assassin, so...
Technically, I was a midwife.
That's true. All right, I'll let you roll either that or Thurani Assassin to see if you can tell whether it was post-mortem or not.
Would I be rolling this with not Dex? Would I be rolling this with the assassin
Int.
plus what?
Probably Int.
Int?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I need to get my basic info. Actually, my stuff is a little messed up. Oh, nothing in Int.
You're not sure. It's hard to tell whether it was done post-mortem or pre-mortem.
Okay, then no idea.
And I think that was about it, yeah. that you did. Then let's go to Joandi. Let me send Justin another invite. I can't remember if I did. All right. So yeah, let's go to Joandi and what you did besides talk with Pearl. Because that's all I remember you doing.
Primarily, that is what I did. Going back a little bit farther, I had. This is kind of recapping 2 sessions ago for me, because I didn't do very much last session. I went to go check in on my ward and found that he had not been keeping up the business quite as much as I'd like, even though he was taking care of the animals very, very well. Kind of to be expected. I went and drummed up a little bit of business, found a elven lady who I supplied with a feline companion for a party, hoping that'll get me a little bit of word of mouth and a little bit more business in the future. After that, I was on my way, hopefully, to see my teacher from the Sightless Eye, but was intercepted by the message from Pearl, and never quite made it to that meeting. Decided to take the alternate route to get to her because the Blood of Vol is a little bit more interesting to me right now. And ultimately, that was my adventure last time, was not getting to where I was going and getting to Pearl instead.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. I honestly couldn't remember you doing anything else past that. So, all right, let's move on to Wraith.
Well, last time I had talked to my rat catcher friend, and gotten some information about some folks that had moved in, down around his area of Sharn. I was in the process of eventually reaching out to the rest of the folks, or the rest of the team, to let them know some of the grumblings that I've been hearing around the town, and whether or not this is something that that us as agents should look into, because it sounded like some pretty seedy junk was going on. At the same time, we were also, or I was also, debating if during this break time if I was going to if I was going to go after well, I'm sorry, not go after, if I was going to reach out to my mentor to see if he had any advice and or if he knew any information in regards to the Emerald Claw, and what kind of, if he knew anything about them and their current goings on and their current form, if they were serving a particular master, is that master, who were they serving, and what was their agenda, and if there was anything more going on than what the rumors and the conjecture state. Yeah,
Okay.
but I was going to send that via. I think we had discussed me sending that via the house. I can't remember what house it was. The messenger house.
Yeah, I can't remember. Hold on, let me look real quick, because that might be important. Dragon marked houses. Is it Jarasco? No, that's healers. No. Civis? Yes, it's House Civis.
Civis. Okay.
Yeah, it's Civis. Okay. All right. All right.
Is
So
miss damage is level?
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains
It,
so much.
Has
yep.
that not always been the case?
I always thought it was just one.
New is level.
Yeah.
Well, the sheet's doing a bunch of crap, a bunch of calculations that I had totally missed. Like my attack roll is actually 2 greater than I thought it was, and
Yeah, I
my
don't know that
ranged attack roll is 5 greater than I thought it was, and
I don't know that the sheet is right. Like I don't know that the base is right because some of mine are way off too. Like,
well, I mean, but the base stuff, that's your base class. Like you got to go to the starting class, like when you're rolling a class.
Mhm.
right, I'm not sure that they're right because mine are off. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't know. You just enter in whatever the base stuff is. It's matched it all perfectly fine. I put in base HP from class. My HP's perfect. Um, I put in the base AC. Base AC is a little higher, but that makes sense for being level 2. It's a little bit higher than I thought
Okay,
than
I
it
see what you're
was.
saying. I already had numbers there, and those numbers must have been wrong.
Ye-
Yeah. It has
Yeah,
to be the
you're
absolute very base, not what you're currently at, because it's going to multiply that stuff based on
No, no,
level.
no. Somebody had already put numbers in there for me before I opened up my sheet, and they were wrong.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll
It
do
probably
it.
came from the old version of the sheet. It might be just some leftover numbers that were there.
Okay.
This is a
Um,
really good sheet. I mean, you can set
it's
damage on level melee, damage on melee miss, damage on ranged miss. You
mm,
can set all your base stuff. You change your level, put in your statistics, and then all that just spits out.
yeah. Though
And
we will need to double check to make sure that the numbers are right because like I'm looking at your base ranged basic right now, and there's no way in hell you have a plus 11 versus AC, Eddie.
yeah, see, that's what I thought. I thought that was a little weird, but
Uh,
The
I mean,
you should have
what's the math
five,
on that?
6. You
It's
should have you should have a 6
a
versus
6.
AC. Um, because it's basically your dex plus your level.
Yeah, see, that's what I have on my sheet. So I don't know why.
And
I mean, maybe because you said Dex plus level,
yeah. And all right, so
so
here's I think why
4,
yours is coming
2.
up wrong because you've got the you see the plus fives you've got over there
Yeah.
under melee weapons. That's your magical enhancement.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So yeah.
I can't type
That'll do it.
icon relationships.
What's that?
I can't type in the icon relationships.
Really? That's,
Yes.
There was a base one in there. If you
Yeah,
just
that one I can't.
click on it a few times, you can get rid of it. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but there was like a base one, like I had Orc King in there or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's what I had
yeah,
too.
Orc Lord.
Nothing's happening.
And I managed to click on it a few times, kind of mess around with it, and then let me change the field.
Yeah, we'll play some. Playing around with the character sheet is probably gonna have to be done
Okay,
to
got
some
it.
extent between sessions. If you guys end up needing a link so that you can access to the campaign and do that, you shouldn't need to go into the campaign. You should be able to just mess around with the character from the Roll20 site. But we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. I don't want to take up all the time today doing that if we don't have to. Um, Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so who would like to go first today? Does anybody particularly have something that they want to dive right into?
um, I think that as far as me and Pearl, we kind of have to go together.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, you can separate if you want, but so it's really up to you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, my thing is really just a letter. I think that you guys with the more active stuff should get moving.
Okay.
Alright. Uh,
I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
All right. So let's do Pearl and Juan D then. So what are you guys up to?
Do I have the information that Verania gave me? Or
Yeah.
okay. Can I show that to Juan D, and maybe together we can try to figure out what place or what person we may want to tail, or what place we might want to do some recon for?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's not a problem. So um, most of the people listed have like obvious pseudonyms. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're incorrect names, but they have a certain generic sound to them that makes you think that these people are not necessarily going by their own names. But you can confirm that they are down in the lower city and the cogs for the most part. They don't even the lower city sometimes is a bit of a stretch and only in certain districts, but the cogs for sure.
And what do I know about the cogs in general?
The cogs. I'm gonna go and read a bit off the wiki about that. All right, so the cogs basically are the lowest areas of the city. It's where most of the industrial area of the city is because it's close to like magma vents and such. Um, so that's where a lot of the artifice is done. That's where a lot of the regular blacksmithy is done. That sort of thing. But it's also where it's very blue collar. In some ways, it's better. The people down there are better paid than some parts of the lower districts. But it's got a very rough reputation. It's um, not necessarily dangerous because of the criminals, but because um, it's just a lot of working men and women. The cogs are also where a lot of the non-human, um, the obviously the what would be considered like the monstrous races. This is also where they tend to be. So like kobolds, hobgoblins, they tend to be more in the cogs than other parts of Sharn.
All right. Do you have, Rondi, do you have any ideas where we should start first? I mean, if they're involved with the Blood of Vol, I mean, I defer to your expertise on this matter.
there's a certain amount of each of us has a level of expertise that needs to be exploited here. Because I know the Blood of Vol, but you know the, pardon the expression, criminal underbelly.
Well, to tell the truth, I don't know much about these Dawn brothers. And my other contact is trying to keep low for the moment, though he may know a thing or two. This is kind of like an insight thing, I'd say, but how intimidating would you say Juan D looks in general?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
about as intimidating as a fluffy puppy.
I was figuring, okay, then bringing you to my contact isn't. If he's not gonna give me much. I don't know how much he'll give you. And he'll if we go to the cogs, he looks like he'll stand out like a sore thumb, I assume.
Fairly finely dressed at the moment.
Yes, right now he will definitely stand out.
All right, then you might have to dress a little down if we're going to go down to the cogs. But what time of day would you say it is?
It's up to you. What time did you meet up? I figured it was kind of midday, but it's if you wanted to do earlier or later, I have no objection.
Midday is fine. I want to go back to Sam, and I'd like to catch him at an hour where the inn would be fairly. The traffic's not heavy at all.
Okay. So if midday, you're probably going to wait till that mid-afternoon where the lunch crowd is gone, but the dinner crowd hasn't quite rolled in just yet.
All right. So my suggestion, if we need info, a little more info than we have, is we'll talk to my contact Sam. He works at an inn, and maybe we can get a little more on this gang because, quite frankly, nobody knows who's at the top. Nobody knows much about them. They just kind of hang around there, and then Blood of Vol comes in, and it's weird. It's really weird. So I'd like to go see him first, if that's okay with you, and maybe on our way we can try to find something that makes you a little less inconspicuous.
A little less conspicuous.
Conspicuous. I can't talk today.
You're good. As far as because they're Blood of Vol, they're going to be very interested in power. The Cogs is a place where a lot of people can go missing, from what I understand, and not really be missed. That kind of fits with the motif of, or it lends itself to a darker side of the Blood of Vol than a lot of the normal incumbents will explore. Most of the Blood of Vol believe that the power comes from within. Some of the Blood of Vol believes that the power comes within, yes, but can be taken from other people. So we're talking about human sacrifice here, possibly up to cannibalism and back.
Great. Just what I wanted to deal with today. All right.
They're a cheerful bunch, I promise.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I've met Destroy Necromancer at one point, and he wasn't a very cheerful guy. Do they also delve into like necromancy and things of that nature?
The very, very perverse will get into necromancy. Blood of Vol, the concept is not so much. They're not going for necromancy. They're going for eternal life through ultimate power. They think that if they can tap into their own personal godhead, as it were, that they can ascend beyond the mortal plane, and that there are a very chosen few that can do that.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that, because
Yeah.
it kind of sounds like people are just coming back when they should stay dead. Okay, fine. We'll go see Sam. Maybe I can shake something out of him. I doubt it, though. All right. I take him to go see Sam.
All right. So it's like between 3 and 4, give or take. It's pretty empty in here. It looks like there's maybe a fight during lunch. There are definitely a lot more. There are a lot fewer tables there than there were earlier, and a lot more splinters and blood stains. But it looks like it's mostly been cleaned up at this point.
Okay. Is he anywhere around currently? Maybe behind a bar or something?
You
or
don't see him, but you hear him. You hear him somewhere in the back yelling kind of incoherently. You kind of make out that he wants somebody to bring something back there. You're not sure what it's all about, though.
All right. I go up to like the bar top and I bang on the counter with my fist, loud enough, hopefully, for him to hear.
I'm following close behind her.
Okay. So it looks like he's like in the pantry, more or less, and he's and as you get closer, you can tell that he's yelling that more chairs need to be brought, more tables need to be brought. So it's something you've kind of suspected, that he gets really shitty furniture because he expects it to be bought to be broken very quickly, and this just kind of, emphasizes that idea that he's apparently got stockpiles of furniture to be brought back out in case of a bar brawl. Because it's sometimes you think you could just rub right through one of those tables like balsa wood.
Yep. Sounds like the quality he usually does. And okay. Hey, Sam.
He doesn't turn around, but you hear, "Oh shit," from him, and he still doesn't turn around. You know he heard you though.
I kind of sigh and I look. This time I need to talk to you for a little bit.
All
If
right.
you please.
If I please, then I say no, but you're not going to let me get away with that.
Nope.
Well, I guess you can't break things any worse than they were already broken earlier today. So.
Sounds like I missed quite the brawl. All right. Can we talk in your office?
Yeah, wait a minute. Who the hell is this guy?
Associate of mine.
Oh, an associate.
Yes.
Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess. All right. You know the way.
Yep. We'll meet you there.
All right, I'll be up in a minute. Don't help yourself too much to my hard-earned profits.
Uh-huh. Come on. Office is back this way.
So true to his word, he comes in like 2 or 3 minutes after the volume and intensity of his yelling increases greatly during that time, however. And he comes into the office, shuts the door behind him, and sits at his. If you're really generous, you can call it a desk. Most people would just call it a table that's had like boxes stapled to it. So he sits down in his chair, gestures for you two to sit down, and kicks his feet up and looks at you and says, "So what brings you back here so quickly, Pearl?"
Well, I have acquired a job for myself, and I need some information. I need information. I'm not going to cut around the bush. I need information on whatever you have on the Dawn brothers. And I just look him dead in the eyes. Straight dead in the eyes.
Dawn brothers? What do you want with those assholes for?
Those assholes maybe they may be starting some trouble soon, and...
Soon? Hell, they're starting trouble now. Where the hell have you been?
If you think this is trouble, I don't want to see what you think it's about to happen be called trouble. Trouble is an understatement right now.
All right, fine. So what's my benefit for helping you out here?
Well, as you know, since technically the job requires, some infiltration to certain places, I might be able to snag a few valuable items that I'll... If I can, if you can find me, I can bring it back. You can do your fencing thing. I can give you a percentage of that.
So you're offering me a percentage of something you don't even know is going to pay out. That's a sucker bet, and you know it.
All right. So Pearl puts her. Are the chairs? I assume the chairs are human sized.
Yeah.
Okay. I stand up. Pearl stands up from her chair. She puts her elbows, at the edge of his desk, And she just looks at him and says, "Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. The Dawn Brothers are in some weird shit. Like, necromancy type shit. And you know the first place that they're going to hit, besides the cogs, guess where the next place they're going to hit? It's going to be bad for you, it's going to be bad for me, it's going to be bad for business. I am looking out for my best interests, which are in turn your best interests as well. We hang around the same circles. I will try to get what I can, valuables from them. But at the same time, if they pull off whatever crazy, stupid-ass, evil stuff they are attempting, we're all in trouble. And I'm going to say that I'm not trying to deceive him at all at this point. I'm trying to be very honest and play on his best interests.
All right, look, Pearl, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but what you don't understand is you're asking me to get stuck right in the middle of this shit. What if you go in there and not only do you not get any loot out of it, what if you don't come back, period, and word gets out that I'm the one that helped put them on your trail? What happens to me then when these guys, who killed you in this scenario, come looking for whoever put you on their path? I'm totally fucked. So I need I understand what you're saying, but I need something a little more damn concrete than, oh, if I get anything, I'll pass it on to you. I ain't asking for much. I'll take that promissory note. I'll take whatever you can find out of there and fence it like usual. But I need to.
Have you ever heard the expression "dragon hunting is its own reward"?
Who would be fucking stupid enough to say something like that? Dead people, I imagine.
Okay, never mind. I guess it's a me thing.
Man, where the hell did you pick up this guy? What a maroon.
Maroon? I love it.
Apparently, I am a color.
All right, fine. What would make it worth to you? What would make it your worthwhile?
What are you offering? What can you afford up front? I'll take a favor. A favor of my choice. You don't get to turn it down. Failing that, I'm looking at least 100 gold.
I kind of look over to Juan D.
I'll tell you what. I'll do you a favor.
I don't even know who the hell you are, man. No, this is between me and her. If you want to help her with that favor I'm calling in, hey, do whatever floats your boat. But this is between me and Pearl. If she owes me a favor, no questions asked. All right, I'll get you everything I know. Well, I'll ask around tonight, see what the drunks and assholes who usually frequent this place have to say about it.
Let me put it to you this way. You said that you guys run in the same circles, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I run in a different circle. Wouldn't hurt to have a favor in a higher part of town, I think.
If you want to owe me a favor too, I'm okay with that. Just as long as Pearl owes me one too.
There's no two here. I will owe you a favor. She doesn't.
A favor and 25 gold.
10 gold.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
I'll front to 25.
All right, you've got a deal. What I can tell you right now is they've been quiet for, they were small-time cogs level shit, moving up into the lower wards, the lower city. they were small time. They were nobodies. Hardly anybody could have told you their name 6 months ago, but in the last few months, they've been pushing. They've been working some of the rackets that some of the other organizations have been controlling for quite a while. They've got some muscle to them. That necromancy crack, yeah, I've heard of it. They're definitely working with somebody who can create undead of some sort. Usually just zombies and skeletons, from what I've seen. But I've heard rumors that there's some worse things up there, dead things that can think for themselves. Which, I don't know about you, scares the shit out of me. Uh, but yeah, that's they've been pushing. They've come around here once or twice looking for some protection money, but they don't have what they need to muscle out here. Not just yet. I've got too many friends for that sort of thing. But the fact that they felt like they could, that's the worrisome part. That's showing how big they've gotten in the last 6 months.
No, the worrisome part, my friend, is that in another 6 months, they're not going to think they can. They're going to be able to.
I don't know about that, but at the same time, I'd rather not bet on that roll of the dice. That's an awfully risky one.
That's probably why you're still in business.
Yeah, I know when to make the smart bets and when to walk away. And this is a situation where right now, the smart bet is kicking them out on their ass. In 6 months, maybe not. So what's your beef with these guys?
Is necromancy not enough?
No. Necromancy's, it's tasteless. It's vulgar, but there ain't nothing illegal about it. Not here.
Let's just say we might share. I look over to Joandy. We might share a common enemy that might be behind all this bullshit. When would you say this change with the gang started? Like, how many months prior or weeks would you?
About 6 months ago is when I first heard of them, and they've been on the grow. They've been growing since. Pushing in. I don't know how many they've got in their ranks. They don't seem really big, but at the same time, it seems like they can throw around a lot more muscle than they probably should, magical and otherwise. The necromancy is just part of it.
Have they been actively recruiting from those 6 months, within those 6 months, or?
They haven't, which has been a bit. They've obviously been growing, but they haven't put out like the general search. They haven't let it be known on the streets that people who want in can make a run for it. They've been picking up people, I guess, specific. They've been finding people they think are willing to join, or something else. I mean, but I haven't heard any general call on the streets where the Dawn brothers are looking for new meat.
Poor choice of words.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not sure it is, honestly, one way or the other.
No, we'll call it a poor joke then. Do we know where they're pulling out of? Where do you know their base of operations?
No, nobody does. They've been keeping it pretty quiet. They've been pretty good about staying down real low. I'm sure it's somewhere down in the cogs, maybe the lower city, but probably the cogs. As for where, my guess is somewhere near the docks, but that's just that. It's a guess. That kind of low-life scum, that sort of gang does really well on the docks.
How many businesses you think the number of businesses they've been extorting?
More and more. I can't give you a number. And like I said, right here in the lower city, it's easy enough to throw them out right again. But down in the cogs, I heard they're making some leeway.
Mm,
Headway, excuse me.
that's probably where we'll be heading next, unfortunately.
But they've got, like I said, they've got muscle. They've got far more power than they should. No gang in the last 20 years has come up as fast as these guys have. So they've got something behind the scenes helping them out. I don't know if it's one of the houses.
You think a house might be involved with them? Is that possible?
It could be. I mean, Cannith's got a lot of facilities down in the cogs, but I don't know if they'd be working with these guys. These guys don't seem the artifice type, you know. We'd see if Cannith was supporting these guys, we'd see them with potions. We'd see them with wands. We'd see them with the magic armor here and there or whatnot. But no, I haven't seen that so much. So I doubt it's Cannith, but that doesn't mean it can't be somebody else.
Okay.
It could be hell for all I know. It even could be Madani. Madani's they've been acting a little weird.
How so?
They've been, I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe, but I mean they're spies, you know. Well, there's the guys that find spies, and they've been doing a lot more kind of general guard watchman stuff. It's I don't know. They've been out where they usually aren't. I think that's the best way to put it.
Okay. I am not liking this.
But whoever it is, they've got some. That they're someone to watch out for. Hopefully, they get stepped on before they get too big. But you never know when that's going to happen. If that's going to happen.
I don't know, but from the way they're going, I don't know if that will happen unless something steps in.
Something here in Sharn, something always does. It sounds like you're the one looking to step on them right now.
Well, they've rubbed me the wrong way, so I'm doing a couple people a favor, it sounds like. Oh, well, alright.
You got any names and places I should be asking about when the night crowd comes in?
Sure. I drop a few names from the list. They're kind of generic, but, that's all I got to work with right now.
Yeah, alright. I'll ask around tonight, come back tomorrow.
Alright. Anything you wanted to...
You, what's your name? Don't look at me like you've been here a fucking cow. What's your name, boy?
I look over at Pearl, looking for some kind of signal as to whether or not it's a good idea to give my actual name.
I just call him Tim.
Tim. Yeah. You might want to work on your fake names a little better, Pearl. Usually you're better at that than this, but whatever. Okay, Tim. Give me a place where I can reach you at in case I need this favor you're offering.
Go up to the pet shop in the upper city, the odd one.
The odd one. Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that. What's the name of it again?
Shit. Give me a second.
I actually looked this up earlier. I know it.
A unique breed.
Unique breed. Yeah, I've heard of that place. You guys have sold some weird shit, motherfucker. But all right. Again, no questions asked on that favor. It just gets done. We understood?
Yeah.
All right, Tim. See you later, Pearl. Try not to bring too much trouble on my doorstep.
I walk out. I hate dealing with him these days.
Yeah, you hear him swearing behind you. He's always been kind of a pain in the ass, but something's definitely been rubbing him the wrong way and making him considerably more abrasive than usual.
Must be his hemorrhoids acting up again.
It very well could be.
Alright.
He's too cheap to get the good cream.
Alright, Shanti. Sorry about that. Usually he's a little more agreeable, but he's just being a jackass. I owe you one. But what do you want to do? Do you want to wait for the information he's going to bring that he might get tonight and come back tomorrow? Do you want to go to the cogs now? Like I said, you might want to dress a little down for that.
Lloyd?
I think that even dressing down, I would be made notice of in the cogs.
Yeah, that's true.
I am not suited to the underworld. I smell like Rich Boy.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Why don't I take a look on the upper world if we have suspicions that there are higher connections? I can take a look in the upper world a little bit more easily than you, I think, while you can take care of the lower realms a little bit more, with a little bit more finesse than I would.
Oh yeah, alright. Sounds fair enough.
Alright, and we will cut there and go to, alright, who wants to go next, Wraith or Gemabeth?
Don't matter to me.
I'll go next so I don't fall asleep.
Okay, let's do that then.
I'm gonna go get a drink.
Okay, you can do that. Actually, yeah, let's take a minute and everybody can get a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, and then when we come back, we will go with Gemabeth.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere, so just let me know when you get back.
Okay. Real quick question before I go anywhere. The character sheet does not look like it's respecting my level.
Yeah.
Is there a way to tell it to respect the level, or
Like, what do you mean?
I'm marked as level 2, and then
Yep.
my strength and everything are on the are on point, but the modifiers on the right are not.
Let's see.
Or actually, I guess my actual question is, are those supposed to be just the modifier, or is that supposed to be modifier plus level? And do we know whether or not our normal things here are going to be modifier plus level, like the basic attack and things like that?
Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Modify.
I also need to remember what my additional talent was for my, or feat rather. I'm putting my feats in the talents and features area.
I may need to mess around with it myself just to see.
Okay.
Um,
I'm going to go grab that drink, and I'll be back in just a minute.
okay.
Yeah, there's some issues I'm noticing.
Yeah, I'm looking at yours now. Standard range nearby. Targets.
Because this particular class is allowed to set their melee to dex or strength or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I don't see any way to change that. I mean,
No, no.
I found ways to modify the numbers,
Yeah.
but I think the idea is supposed to be that it does it for you.
Yeah. No, that's true. It is supposed to do that for you, and that's the weird one here.
And I know they must have done something about it because this isn't the only class that does it.
No, it's not. Let's see. Because that's showing us correct. That is not showing us correct. Daily basic.
And then when I try and create a skill on the right hand side there,
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean a skill?
like doing the green bordered or green headered at wills, stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'm trying to create abilities like my arcane strike and blade wind and stuff like that. I'm trying to create those in there, but I can't get them to roll. But I don't see anything in there that let you there's nowhere to put set damage. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I made one, gave it a name, made it
Hold
an
on.
actual, made it a
Because part of it I think might be. I'm gonna adjust this real quick and then we'll see if it'll work. Because you don't need to have the roll part in there on your damage, and it's not going to work if you have the. All right, you add this much at this level. You're going to need to just put it in however much it is.
Well,
So
that was more just from my info, just to kind of see what I could do.
Mm.
Right? No, I can't get it to roll damage at all.
You're right. It's not rolling.
When you look at the at will soul blade, right?
And it's not displaying correctly either because it's showing you unless you hold rubber. You know what I mean. So you hover over it.
Hover it. It shows you what it rolls. And the attack's technically wrong too because I mean, and in both instances, we'll see like the attack is saying attack versus whatever. On your roll, you rolled a 20, and then a 2, and then you have a 2, a 1, and a 5. And that all should add up.
Yeah, and it's not displaying correctly.
Yeah.
That I know. I'm seeing that. All right, so still on. Shouldn't need that. It was working just fine.
Randy's back. Lloyd's still working on it.
All right.
Yes, it's my fault for distracting you. Leave me alone.
No. Okay, that didn't work. Hold on. Okay, ACDC. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know why it's not displaying correctly like that. It should be. Something is definitely... Oh, that's why. That's part of why that wasn't working. Alright, so that should at least work now. That actually might have been the whole thing. I'll just name it so I can click on it. No attribute was found. That part's working at least. Again. When you put in the don't put a +1 in like the weapons. Don't put the plus there, just put the 1. Because that messes up the macro more or less.
Where are you seeing that?
Hold on, I'll just screen share. There's no reason not to while I'm fucking around with this. So let's see.
Florida contingent has returned in full.
All right, we will continue here in a moment.
Oh, okay. You're adding about when you're talking about when you're adding a new one.
Nope, still not working there, but that's at least working again.
My standard melee had a +0. It should have been a +3, so I added a +3 on the back end, but it's not adding it to the.
Did you put it in the actual plus, or did you put it just a 3?
In the back end, the whole text that was already there was +0, and I just changed the 0 to a 3. That's how it was written on the back end for my melee item. For my basic melee attack.
I will need to look because they put in some pre-gens when they were working on this, and I'll have to look and see how that's formatted and go from there. I know it's on the wiki, but I don't want to look at that right now. I don't want to spend half the night fucking around with this.
There's no way for me to add my +4 to initiative that I can see either, so I'm probably just going to continue with the icon, the ones I.
Yeah, we'll get it. I'll get it sorted out, but right now this is pretty much brand freaking new. Though you should be able to get the initiative for Gemini, is it not?
Well, I'm also
It just says initiative. It doesn't let me put the +4.
No tokens are selected. Oh. Hold on. That might be interesting. Let me see. Will that work?
Is it in the modifiers you just put the +4?
It worked. Yes, you're gonna have to put the +4 there because that modifier thing that pops up is your generic. There's something that can't be accounted for in the character sheet thing. So that's pretty much so it's like until I get the escalation die script working, you're gonna have to put the escalation die in there. If you're in a combat and you're dazed, or if you're getting a bonus on something, you're gonna have to put that in there. So you're still gonna have to enter some stuff, but the hope is that you won't have to enter it nearly as much.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure where I got this idea that I had a +4. So I'm gonna have to look at it.
Do you have improved initiative?
No.
Really?
All right. In that case, I have no idea.
I don't know where I was getting that +4 from.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, at least for initiative, I am going to have to continue to use my initiative
Did you hear,
macro.
Did you hear? If you click on your icon and you roll it gives you an ability to add the +4.
Well, that's not the issue with me. I'm a human.
Oh.
I roll 2 initiatives and take the one I want, and that's not an option here. So, initiative at the very least, I have to continue using. Oh, cool.
How did you get that one to work?
Okay, let me link this to you guys real quick. I mean, this might help, but who knows? Yeah, in theory, the icons should be really easy,
Mine don't seem to be working.
but you haven't been able to type them in. That's the problem you're having, right?
No, I fixed that.
Oh,
But
in that case, all you have to do is hit the icon. You see the banner where it says icon relationships? Hit that button.
yeah, do you see what I get?
Nope.
Take error, unexpected.
I don't. Yeah, I don't see that though. Let me see.
Let me copy it and paste it for you.
Do you have? Let me. How do you have it? How do you have it looking when it's in the relationships? Do you have plus threes? Do you or plus ones? Do you have minuses? Do you have anything except numbers there?
Nope, I just have the numbers there.
Take a screenshot and send it to me.
Now it's working. Hold on.
Maybe there was an extra space.
Do you have to roll them individually?
You shouldn't have to. It should just come up all at once.
No, it's doing that for me too, where you have to have a certain bubble filled in.
Oh, okay, yes. All right, yeah. All right, that's right now. I remember how that works. So yeah, you have to do them separately on that.
All right, so it's possible that somehow I managed to get an extra space in there because it now seems to be working.
Yeah, that seems the most likely. I'll look over the pregens and look at the formatting they've got for stuff like damage, how to get that to automatically roll, and so on and so forth, and figure out if there's a way to change from your basic attacks from dex to strength or vice versa.
Yeah.
You got it. All right. How did you get the damage to show up there?
Hmm?
And the spear attack, how did you get the damage to show up? What did you put in there?
And that's the one that's messing up, by the way. But it says on the bottom, hit 2d6 plus, and it had defaulted to 0. And then I went to where it says attributes and abilities, and I went to where it says RBA hit and put in, or no, MBA hit. I put in the +3 instead of the +0, and it apparently didn't change it. It's still doing the +0, but it was already there, 2d6 plus 3, or +0 in this case.
Let me see.
It was in my character sheet. The range attack works correctly. The melee attack doesn't.
That's interesting. Hold on. Let me look at it.
Where it's in the middle, where it says spear, you've got a place to put the weapon, and then a number, and then the dice.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's really weird.
Maybe that's where that. No, because the short bow is working right. It's the melee that's not working right. And that's your AC. The first spot is plus AC, plus what versus AC. But it doesn't come out right. I had to put some weird numbers in there to make it work.
Well, all right. We'll fight with this a little bit later. After I've been able to look at the pregens and look at how they're formatted and see that they're doing okay. It might. Nah, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. We'll figure it out. Right now, it's not super important. So, all right, where were we?
Gemma.
Yes. So, what What are you doing? Let's go straight for it.
Um, I am in the Caleb's ship. We've sent the medicine down and are waiting to hear if it has any effect. I have requested samples to look at. I don't really have any equipment on board to look at them, though, do I?
Not really, no.
So we have taken some tissue samples and put them on ice.
Okay. So you've got tissue samples. I'm sure you've got blood samples. You've got other stuff like that. You've got a pretty good idea of what you need for that.
Mm-hmm.
So after you've got all this, Caleb comes up to you and says, "So what do you think about these guys? What do you? You're never one to hold back your opinion. So what are you thinking?"
I'm thinking that this wizard bears some scrutiny.
This Mordain, I've heard of him. He's not one to be fucked around with. That much I know. He's done some bizarre shit. He used to be, from what I understand, he used to be on the up and up. He was, one of the big shots in the arcane world, and then he caught with his little experiments, and they expelled him. But it says a lot that they expelled him rather than killed him, because sounds like one twisted son of a bitch.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if he's capable of this kind of destruction, that's not. I'd like to know why they expelled him instead of, like you said, out and out killing him.
What worries me is the idea that they expelled him because they couldn't kill him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's something we need to know.
I'll tell you what, I've got some friends who I might be able to ask some questions, and maybe they'll be able to give me an idea of what his history is. Unless you just want to come with me, but I don't know if you've got anything running around at Sharn or not.
It kind of depends on how long it's going to take you. I mean,
well, we're going to be going up to Allendare if we're doing it. And we're going to have to take the long road because they don't exactly like people coming too much out of the Eldian reaches nowadays.
Yeah, I think I have to be home. I got appointments and stuff. You know, I'd love to come, but.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'll. How about this? I'm pretty sure I can pick up a job in Sharn that'll take me up to Allendare. And once I get there, maybe I can do a little sniffing around, asking some questions.
I hate to ask you this.
No, you really don't hate to ask, but you're going to do it anyway.
While you're there, something else I'd like to know if you wouldn't mind looking into for me.
What is it?
Just a second here. In just a minute.
Okay.
I've heard that the ash found may be working in Allendare.
The Ashbound, those That's a druid sect, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear they may be making trouble for the people up there.
What's their deal again?
They consider all magic not druidic to be unnatural. So they're making some problems for the farmers and ranchers. They think that the farmers and ranchers are messing up, the nature, the magic of the forest, and you know how sects get, where they just pull everything out of shape to meet their own needs. But I've been told that they're making some problems for the farmers and ranchers up there, harassing them and just trying to find out, if it's true and if people are aware of it and how on there
Yeah.
is reacting to this.
Yeah. No, I might be able to get two birds in one stone at this point. Because if I'm going to ask about everything else, then I'm going to Arcanics, and if anybody knows about magic hating druids, then that's also going to be at Arcanics.
Arcanics?
Arcanics, it's maybe the biggest center of arcane magic in all of Corvair. You'll probably hear people disagree with that, but it's the fact that it's arguable says you a lot. If I'm asking about Mordain, that's where I'm going to have to do it, and that's where I'm going to have to talk about these Ashbound guys too. I expect that if anybody's heard about it, then it's probably there. Hell, if the Ashbound are acting up that much, they may have actually worked against Arcanics. Period. Not that that's necessarily a smart idea, considering how many Archwizards are there. To say nothing of the Sorcerers and the Artificers, but it sounds like these guys are a bit fanatical. So, yeah, maybe I can do two birds with one stone on this. I'm not too worried about asking about the Ashbound there. Asking about Mordain, that might bring some trouble down on my head. So,
be careful. I don't want you to get
you know me. I'm always gonna watch my own back, but but watching your own back makes everything take a little bit longer. So, how about this? Do you need to go back to the Reaches for anything?
No, I'm good.
All right. Then in that case, oh man. In that case, we'll go south into the Shadow Marches. We'll do the long way around to get back to Sharn, and from there I can pick up a cargo that'll take me into Alandare. We got lucky going through the Bieshik Mountains.
Yes, we did.
And I have no interest in doing that again, or flying across Drome in general, because harpies are one thing, but there's some truly bizarre things calling themselves citizens of Drome, and I don't want to mess with that. Besides, the hags, hags might just decide that they don't want an airship flying over and take us down, period, for no other reason that they're having a shitty day. So, but all right, so we'll take the long way around, and then we'll get to Sharn, and from there we'll see. Keep an eye out. I'll send something by way of Civis if I find anything, but if you don't hear from me in, let's call it 8 weeks, 2 months, come up to Arcanics and start asking around for me, because chances are at that point I'm in a lick of trouble.
You really want me to wait a whole 2 months?
This is going to be a slow investigation. I don't want to. Mordain's a touchy topic, from what I understand, and I don't want to piss off an Archwizard. You know what I'm saying? So
I hear you.
I'm going to go in this really. I'm going to go into it as subtle as I can possibly be. And before you say anything about how I'm an absolute shit at being subtle, I've been working on it. So.
Really?
And the Ashbound stuff, once I get the word out, that might just take a while to accumulate, to filter back down to Arcanics since it's not on the border. So, yeah, give me a few weeks. Give me 2 months. If you haven't heard anything from me by then, even if it's just to say that I'm still looking, then something's gone wrong and you're going to have to come bail my ass out of whatever it is.
I'll be there with the bells on.
All right, bring friends. I'm sure you'll need them.
I'll find some.
Well, if you can't find any, be sure to hire some. That's all right too.
All right.
Gold.
When am I going to owe you for this favor?
We'll talk it over later. I mean, I appreciate you coming up with me to do this in the first place. I'm glad we didn't need your particular talents too much, but we could have. So maybe we're just square, depending on how bad this goes up in Arcanics.
Well, here's hoping it goes well.
We can hope. So.
Getting a little
right.
luck with you.
Yeah. Well, let's get heading back to Sharn. Well, we can stop at Zarashak in the marches, and maybe pick up a load of cargo from there to take to Sharn. And that way, this whole trip will, at least turn us something of a profit. So, all right, let's get moving. The sooner we've cast off, the sooner we'll get somewhere, that I can take a fucking shower.
Now, wait a minute. You mean to tell me you did this out of the goodness of your heart and you didn't get any financial compensation for this trip?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Ha ha! That's what I thought.
The goodness of my heart only goes so far. It doesn't pay for, the crew. It doesn't pay for food. It doesn't pay for making sure the damn ward on the elemental is kept right. So
Yeah,
I was the compensation has been more than reasonable. But that being said, I don't want to be out here in the middle of fucking nowhere longer than I have to, especially with that disease.
I know your crew and how demanding they are.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Needy bastards.
one more time with the head orc here, see if he's seen any improvement, and then let's get out of here.
All right, sounds good. I'll get the crew underway, and then as soon as you're back on board, we are out of this place. All right, so we will pause there, and then we will go to Wraith.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
Just I attended that. I went to Civis and sent that message. That would have been about it, honestly. And I don't know if that's gonna get back quickly or not. And honestly, it's I'm sure even Civis has its limits.
Okay, and
Aside from that, I would just be maintaining cover. Just leading my normal day to day.
Right.
My dual life.
what have you been mostly? What personality have you been in mostly? Has it been with your the King's Shield personality?
Let me think. Honestly, it may be as my sister, since I would have been, drafting this letter, mailing this letter on behalf of my diplomat self through Civis as just a chore. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then I don't know. I would still have to. I would still. Well, no, this is kind of off time, so I wouldn't even really be responsible for any of my normal diplomat duties. I mean, the off time is kind of. I'm sure it's all well-rounded, right? So if I'm off on one, I'm off on the other. So yeah, probably more in my sibling.
Okay. So not too long after you drop off this message at the Civis location, you run into a familiar face on the street. A man named Tygon, who's a Sharn watchman.
No,
I will give you a moment to remember who the hell Tygon
well,
is.
I know who he is. I just need to get all his info. I'm trying to get to the portal. I know that he's a butt.
But he's a butt that's in love with you,
Yeah.
or at least in lust.
Yeah, definitely at least that.
Is he a stalker? You're not sure because he never seems to manage to find you.
Right.
For some reason.
He's in love with Wraith or Wraith's sister persona.
With my sister.
Sister. There we go. That was weird.
I kicked a whole bunch of. Our background is interesting. I kicked a whole bunch of people's asses, saved his life, and he's kind of been attached to me.
Pretty much.
Wiki. Sorry, guys. Party NPC.
This will probably be our last run through for
NPC.
tonight.
Tygon Black. Yeah, saved by a young lady against a gang of thieves.
Yeah, he's a dork.
Yeah, he's a dork. He's these non-veiled attempts at wooing, and he's bad at it.
He's really bad, but he's trying really hard. And you know that I mean, given he's doing it not just regardless of whether he's doing it for you or not, it's still ultimately good for Brayland. So it's tolerable, barely.
All right.
So
Run into Tygon Black.
Tygon comes up and he's like, "Milady, I didn't expect to see you here. Were you sending a letter?"
Hello, Guardsman Black. Yes, I would be sending a letter on behalf of my brother.
Ah, I see. I haven't seen your brother around for quite a while. Is he all right?
He is taking a bit of time off from the King Shield's diplomat corps. He is currently, I believe he's something about fishing. I don't know. Men and their things.
Fishing? That's so strange. My family's from here in Sharn. I've lived my whole life here in Sharn. The idea of going fishing is it's really strange.
Well,
I suppose, but
you do know that we've both spent a little time in the reaches. It's something I kind of picked up from out there. While we were vacationing.
I suppose, yeah, that makes sense. I can respect the hobby even if I don't entirely understand it myself. But regardless, would you care for an escort to where you're going next? I've just come off my shift and I happen to have the evening open, so it would be no problem whatsoever.
Oh dear Tygon, no, we will not be spending the evening together.
Well, no. I'm sorry, milady. I didn't mean to imply that. I just, I have time, and I figured that a lovely lady like you might wish for an escort to where you're going, just to keep the riffraff away, I suppose.
With she covers I cover the back of my mouth, or the back of my hand, or use the back of my hand to cover my mouth. It's stifling a giggle to and then let him know. Oh, you keep away the riffraff. Yeah, I see you're taking up jesting while you're attending to your guardsman duties, and I start heading in the direction of the markets where my next errands would have been.
And he kind of follows along and says, "And how fortuitous then that I happen to be going the same direction. What are you shopping for? Anything in particular?"
Just the night's meal.
I see. I'm doing quite the same. So, he's very clearly struggling to find something to to keep your attention and find something to talk about. And he says, did you hear? No, that's far too much for a lady like yourself, a proper noble woman to have dealt with such things.
I give him a slap. I give him a slap in his stomach. There's nothing proper about me, and you know it, Black.
Uh, so you keep saying, my lady, but I prefer to see it otherwise. However, if you do wish to hear, I'm more than willing to disclose what I've heard. It's quite an interesting situation. I'm afraid I haven't been working on it myself, but the guard, I've heard it at the guardhouse. I understand that there was a warehouse that was broken into this past month.
Oh?
A considerable slaughter ensued. It's
And then and
quite
I'll take this opportunity to kind of fuck with him and be like, oh, and let me guess, a single man walked in and slew a contingent of helpless people, ripping them limb from limb and scattering their corpses and blood all over the place.
I feel like the response there should be, oh, so you heard about it.
That's pretty much what I was getting to. I didn't realize you'd already heard of it, milady.
Heard it? Are you kidding? That was true?
I
was just spouting nonsense.
I'm afraid so. Yes, that you've. It's quite uncanny how accurately you've described it too. It's. You must have some sort of talent in that area, but yes, you've described it.
Ask my brother, and my talent is for meat pies. And I just at this point, I'm like looking through, I'm assuming we're coming up on the market, and
yes, you're pretty much right in the middle of the market at this point.
I'm looking at various vegetables at this stall and so on.
That's remarkable. I must admit, it's quite the big talk in the guardhouse. It seems that somebody else was dispatched to take care of the situation. The guard wasn't called in at all. It made some of my superiors quite irate at being kept out. But I have to tell you, from the perspective of the man on the street, I'm kind of relieved that we weren't brought in to investigate such a terrible situation. I mean, one man. How could such a thing happen?
It sounds like whoever excluded the guard did you all a favor. If this individual could truly take a group of grown people and dismember them.
I suppose, but at the same time, that's what we're here in the guard for, milady. We're here to put our lives on the line to protect that of the average Sharn citizen. That's what we've signed up for, to do our duty and protect Sharn from things such as this. And I do admit, though, that I'm somewhat relieved. I have no hesitation to do what I need to do for Sharn and for Brayland and for the king, but it sounds terrifying, to be honest.
And I just keep selecting things and exchanging some coin and doing my shopping. So just kind of I don't know, politely listening, not necessarily chasing him away as I continue about my business. He hasn't been particularly annoying this time.
Not as much this time. He's actually brought the fact that you actually knew about what was going on there made it slightly less irritating than when he tries to talk about, catching a cat burglar that you've never heard of, or, meeting with some noblewoman that you don't even know their name. and so on and so forth. So at least this time he's somewhat relevant, if only by accident.
Apparently by accident.
And after all, he kind of gets the hint, and he's like, "Well, I'm sorry for disturbing you, milady, but
Oh, no bother at all, Tygon. No bother at all.
I
As always, it's pleasant to see you, and you keep my feet first of all.
well, thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope you have a good evening."
You do the same, Tygon.
And he looks equal parts kind of confused and happy, and it kind of walks off, and every once in a while keeps looking over his shoulder towards you, but eventually he
Slinks away.
yeah, he's lost in the crowds.
I throw him. I throw him a bone every now and again where I treat him nice. And there's sometimes he annoys me and I chase him away. And there's other times I treat him nice. It's always good to have a guardsman that's looking out for you, and we'll share little tidbits like that. So, not that it was anything I didn't already know, but you never know.
True enough. Let me see. I need to look up something real quick.
And it looks like tonight we're having baked fish.
Quite probably.
Stuffed with herbs.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I could keep going, but I think we're done for tonight. I think I've hit the wall.
I think a few people have hit the wall. I think poor Brandy, I think she's falling out.
Yeah,
I think her little icon has probably never been more accurate than it is right now.
Yeah, I'm super tired right now, and it's hard to focus.
All right, so this will save, right? Like if I just shut this down, I don't have to worry about.
Oh yeah. And you should be able to log into your Roll20 account and access the character sheet, so you can keep monkeying with it.
Well,
you may not be able to roll, but you should be able to add stuff.
Oh, I'm pretty much all added in. The only thing now is if I can figure out how to get the dex to apply where strength should apply, and if I can figure out how to get damage to roll in a self-made in one of these self-made attack macros.
Yeah, which is I'm not sure why it's not doing that, honestly.
Give me 2 seconds. I've got damage on one of mine that's working.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I'm not sure why it's not working when Lloyd has his working, or at least it seems like he's got his working. And
was that? But see now,
pretty much.
Was that one of the ones that already existed and you just renamed, or did you do anything to the back end, or did you add a new one?
That has to be a new one because that's not an at-will. That's not. I don't.
Oh yeah, you can't modify the names, can you? So it has to be
not for the melee basics. No, here, hold on. Let me look at that.
Okay, look in the basic group.
Oh, I see what you did. You just took the. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So what he did? Yeah, he basically did that. You know the link I gave you guys earlier to the Roll20 wiki.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it to you again right now. At least I think I still have it open.
They've got a basic damage attack on there that does level, melee weapon, strength mod, and level multiplier. I just replaced STR for strength with my CHA for charisma. I removed the melee weapon and replaced it with an 8 because on mine it's a straight D8 for my Serenity Blast, Psy Blast. So mine is a little bit edited, but straight up it works.
I'm getting that link that you gave is giving me it does not exist.
What, really?
Yeah.
I just opened it and it works.
Error, speedy protocol error.
Is it not working for? I mean, obviously it worked for Lloyd. Otherwise, he wouldn't have that.
Temporarily be down or moved.
Yeah. Well, all right. Hold on to that link. Actually, I'll email it to everybody.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've got everything added in, and it all looks good, and it all. I can see everything's clickable. One thing that I kind of wonder about is I can see where, and this is okay, I guess, when if I had to say something, because typically you give either flat background checks or you give background checks plus a statistic. And I
Yes.
see that there's opportunity where you could click on, say, like, you click on Dex,
Uh,
and I think it rolls something. I'm not sure
yeah,
if it
it would
rolls.
then roll whatever background you have
Oh, that's right.
selected.
And then you get a modifier pop up. At that point, you can enter in the background.
Right.
So that would work. But
Mhm.
it's weird that you would have, at least it's weird to me, that you would have radio buttons next to each of the individual backgrounds and not be able to click the background banner. I don't know. It's fine. It'll work
It's
the other way. It's just
I,
that.
I actually talked to them about this one because this was something that I brought up as well because I didn't quite understand it as well. And the reason it's the way it's done by hitting the attribute instead of the background is because, like you mentioned, that the you could go to a number of things with different background. So
Mhm.
it's a simpler solution to say, all right, I can hit charisma and it could go for anything, but going the other way is a little more complicated in terms of building it. It's easier to
Mhm.
have a radio button to say, all right, we're using this skill, and then I can pick the attribute than it is to do the other way around.
Right.
The scripting is less complicated, is
Okay.
my understanding.
That's
Um,
fine too. I mean, it works. You click on strength and you can just add in the modifier for the background, and it's all right there. You're looking at it, so it's not particularly difficult, you
mm,
know. And it's going to automatically take your strength roll. And I mean, I'll just run a test on it. Just throw in infiltrator on that.
yeah, so again, you guys don't have to use the character sheets. I'm not going to make you do so.
Oh, okay. Well, no, this is even better than I thought it was.
Oh,
Um, because it's you don't even have to add the modifier unless you truly have a modifier. If you click the radio button next to the appropriate background, so let's say you want to see Dex, I'm doing a stealth roll. You want to see Dex plus change of the infiltrator. You click on Dex, you just click submit. Boom, it
yes,
automatically grabs the correct the radio button selected. So in this case,
yes,
it's changing the infiltrator, and it adds the appropriate number.
yes, it does.
So
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 yeah,
that's perfectly okay.
yeah, okay, yeah. So you just didn't understand that it wasn't adding in the modifier
Right, I
already.
didn't think it was adding them together, so I was like, what's the purpose
Yeah,
of the radio buttons at all? But now I see you can literally put in you click the radio button and then click the corresponding statistic,
yeah,
and then you roll the correct one.
and it's really fast. And in this case, it doing it like this as opposed to a macro is so much faster. In
Yeah.
this particular case, I mean, we haven't quite got the
Well,
powers
well, I mean,
sorted, so they're
no,
faster
but
yet.
this is
But
fantastic. This particular piece right here with the backgrounds and everything, this is fantastic because you can at a glance, you as the GM, you
mhm,
can look at it and it says you rolled the correct stat, you rolled the correct background, what I told you, and then
mhm.
here's what your number is in yellow. It's so
Yeah,
easy to just you can visually just 1, 2, 3 done.
and the
And
other good thing about it is that
Doing
since
that.
this is right here in Roll20, what I can do is I can open it up. Let's say let me say I need something from Brandy and she's not here. I can just open it up and roll it. I don't have to have one of you do it.
right,
I don't have to kind of hand wave it. I can go, all right, we need a veterinarian roll from Brandy tonight for some reason. All right, there we go. We got it. It is
nice.
right. It's just there.
That's really cool. Now this is gonna be really cool. Just need to figure out this one piece. Once I figure out this one little piece about the attacks, because I've got to make a freaking arcane strike for 3 of my attacks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
Yeah, it's going to take some time, but like I said, you guys should be able to log in on Roll20, access the campaign, and adjust your character sheets from there without me being there. You
Mhm.
should be able to. I don't know because I haven't done it. Yeah, I
Yeah, your
know.
melee base is going to be wrong, Brandy, because you're a dex based melee attack, aren't you?
Well, it's not just that. It's not adding the damage
Oh,
right.
it's not adding the damage correctly.
It's not adding the plus whatever it is. It's not adding that in. So it says 2d6 plus 3, but it's just rolling 2d6.
Oh, you know what? I think I might have seen something like that too. Yeah,
Or
mine's just rolling the same.
Yeah, they're all doing that for
Yeah.
the.
What about the range? Was the range correct?
Range is fine.
Yeah, range is fine.
For the
is
record,
weird.
whenever you see a green box around the yellow field, that's a max roll.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
nice.
a red is a minimum, I believe.
Minimum roll. Okay. Roll it for me, Brandy. Oh, night, Dad.
Yeah, see you later, Jared. Thanks for coming.
Which one?
Just roll your melee basic for me.
Hell, I could do that.
All right. What's your strength modifier?
It's 0. I'm looking at it right now.
That's why. It's because the melee basic defaults to strength, and then roll your ranged.
Yeah, but the thing is, and
the attack
here's
is fine. It's the damage. The attack is correct. It's the damage.
yeah, and here's the thing is I know. Well, here I'll just show you. I think it'll be easier.
Okay. I guess I'm confused because.
All right, so look. All right, so look at the melee basic attack. It's right here. See how it says 2d6 plus 3 here? It's not actually rolling that 2d6 plus 3.
Oh, so her sheet specifically says 2d6.
It says it's 2d6 plus 3.
Oh, okay.
It's not
Okay,
actually.
so that's a little bit
rolling
different
it.
than what I'm saying, because I mean particularly if you're rolling melee basic attack and it's saying that. Well, I mean if you yeah see I see it 2d6 plus 3.
Yeah, and it should be, and because that's.
See that's really weird. Then that means that it's showing her dex. It's because she added it in on the back end.
If I did 5, came out as 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did that addition. She did that math in the back. If you take that math out of the back, it would roll.
What math are you talking about?
Yeah,
Well, you added the plus 3 into the attributes and abilities on the back end. So you
I
went
tried
to
to
the
do that. It
MBA.
didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Oh, you didn't. You go
Yeah,
to
I tried
you go
that.
to you went to the MBA dash hit and added a plus 3 in there.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll do it right now. I'll just change the 0 to a 3. And now my character sheet says the right thing, but when I roll it, it's still coming out with 0. Plus 0.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's weird. Maybe those fields in the back can't be modified unless you go to the correct,
Saving it, though, it says say plus 3 now.
Oh, well, I guess that's true.
But it's not
Doesn't
doing
change
it.
the macro though.
It's not
Yeah.
doing the macro.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, just need to get that figured out. As soon as we get that figured
Well,
out.
here's the thing: is Paul, you guys are helping us get this figured out, and so it can be fixed. Because I can take some of this information and go straight to Steve, who did it, who I was working with to get it figured out, and I can talk to him and go, "Why isn't this working?" And then we can fix it. Which is really important because this is the official sheet. This is the one that the company is expecting to represent them. And though I did test it, I didn't have any of these problems, and
Right.
I don't know how much testing it got while it was on the dev server, not for this specifically. So I'm going to talk to.
And if you want some feedback too, it looks like it's much easier, like particularly when you're going in to create these particular these bannered skills. It's easy when you're going into, say, when you click attack, you get a drop down where you can go to melee, range, melee 1, melee 2, melee 3, so on and so forth. There's a spot in there for custom, but I haven't really messed with it enough to kind of figure out what it's doing.
Custom is
I
there.
just write it out for you. It just makes it text.
Yeah, custom is there for, and it's actually something I had to ask to be put in. Custom is there for situations that are very specific, that can't necessarily be covered by a more general setting. I don't remember exactly what it was that I was testing that needed the custom stuff, but we decided that was the best way to do it, because sometimes you're not going to be able to get this to work completely automated. So being able to put in there what you need to put in there so you can have a macro or something to go alongside it, that was the best that we could manage to do in this particular situation.
Custom could be useful for things like, I know that on a lot of the druid attacks, there are attacks where if the attack die is an odd, then it's one type of damage, and if the attack die is even, then it's another type of damage. So you would put the custom button on a attack instead of hit, and then type into the custom field on even. And
See,
then
I've got that here. Odd 1d6 damage per level plus Dex.
exactly.
I don't know why it's not doing my even, but
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah, you might. I don't know. You might. In that case, you might have to actually make. I don't know.
macro, yeah. Which is what
Well,
I
yeah. On that particular thing.
Well, on mine, what you the thing that you're probably going to want to do is check mark a second box,
did that.
because I've got mine as hit and then as miss. I might have.
No, we're still. I'm gonna go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead.
let's call it. We can.
We'll
You
tinker.
guys can. Yeah, you guys can mess with it. Definitely do mess with it. In the next couple of weeks when you get the chance. I understand it's the holidays, and I don't expect you guys to have it figured out 100%. But when you do mess with it, email me, let me know, let me look at things so that I can pass along the feedback to Steve, and so we can make sure that it actually works and everything is fine. Because that's
You can understand if it's supposed to be their official sheet. I'm sure they want it. I'm sure they want it
yes.
flawless.
Yes,
Right.
I have no doubt that they do. And from the Fire Ripple side, I will tell you that we definitely want it flawless, because I have got to actually fill in pre-gens, and I'm going to be running a demo for the senior staff so they can get more familiar with Roll20. And if it's not working the way it's supposed to, then I'm kind of screwed too. So
Right.
there's a lot of incentive on every side to get this to work and work the way it's supposed to, so that everybody can use it very easily.
Aaron.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and cut, guys. You guys have a good night, and
All right.
good night, viewers, and everybody. Take care.
Yeah, I haven't stopped the broadcast yet, so let's do that now. All right. Either way, see you later, Eddie.
Later, man. Merry